My name's Jerry Russell. I'm from Sheffield, Alabama.
It is someone that takes what they're doing, portraying Elvis, very serious, but also doing it with a fun side to him as well. Going out and portraying Elvis, but more than anything, bringing back memories of Elvis, the things he did. And that's what an ETA does, is coming out. We can't bring Elvis back, but we can bring back the memories, and we can bring back as close to the look and close to the sound as we possibly can, but it never will duplicate it exactly like it was back then.
What I think separated for him from everyone else was his generosity, his charisma, and the way he acted with his fans. He always had time to stop and talk to them. You know, I remember a lot of times at the gate there, people would be standing, he'd stop and sign autographs and stuff before he went up to his house.
Jerry Russell is one of the sweetest, kindest men you would ever meet. Jerry loves Elvis to pieces. He loves to perform Elvis, and ask him and he'll be glad to stand up and give you a show.
Well, I got a gal, she's a Jew and she can be. She's a decent cousin, but she's not too distant to me. Oh, we kiss all night, I squeeze her tight. Oh, kiss ain't cousin, that one makes it alright, 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 alright.
But he also loves the other artists, and he lives in Sheffield, Alabama. And Sheffield, Alabama was a location of 3 separate Elvis concerts back in the early 50s and 60s. And Jerry has decided he would fix a concert every year. He calls it Elvis Day. He invites 18 to 20 different Elvis tribute artists to come, and the entire day is filled with nothing but non-stop concerts. The money to that goes to a charity every year, because Elvis always gave to charities and helped. And Jerry is a member or president of a Elvis fan club, and so he makes sure that the fan club follows the guidelines and gives to charities every year. But even if he wasn't a member of an official Elvis Presley fan club, Jerry would be out there giving all he could to help anybody that was out there.
Well, an event came to be because in 2003, I met a guy in Memphis during Elvis Week named Gene Hodge. And we talked, and I was telling him a historic event that happened in our town. And then the next year, I talked with Danny and Brian, and we kind of formed a pact to try to get something started here. And in 2005, we had our very first show right across the street there at the Must Show Music Hall.
Met Jerry Russell, gosh, must have been 10 or 12 years ago, and down in Memphis. We pulled up that Kettle restaurant there on East Brooks Road, and he started hollering at me, and him and Kenny and Lisa, and he's telling me what a good show. And I said, well, Jerry, you know, he said, I don't really remember you. And he says, well, I went on just before you. And I said, well, I'm sorry, Jerry, but I don't remember you. And he said, well, you know, I had a wig on. I said, okay, that's it. Okay, yeah, that was the difference, because Jerry's hair has always been real short, and Jerry has always been Jerry, and we all love him to death. He was interested in doing this, and he's got skills. He has skills to putting things together, and I just encouraged him. He did it on his own. All I did was just encourage him, and I'm proud to say that he did it on his own. All I did was encouraging him.
The very first year, we had about 150 people in that building all day long. And the second year at the Sheffield Community Center, we had approximately 250, and the next year close to 500. And then this year, you know, we had about 4 or something in the hotel.
What I wanted to do, like I told you earlier, Gene and Danny and Brian, they helped me form this about 7 years ago. Gene kind of motivated me. I told him about what was going on here in Sheffield. Elvis performing here in the 50s. And he said, we need to get something going. So I talked to Danny, then I talked to Brian. And so we formed this pact to get it started here, and it's been going pretty well for 7 years. I think it's been going real well for 7 years.
Jerry Russell was trying to put this whole thing together, and he just contacted a bunch of us that you know, were friends of his from Memphis that he had worked with up there, and asked us if we were interested in doing this, and fortunately a lot of us said yes. I've been with the show since its inception 7 years ago, and they keep inviting me back, Lord knows why, but you know.
I love little baby ducks. No, that's not. Old pickup trucks. Okay, take it on. I don't even know what we're doing next. But well, you may run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Let me tell you, God Almighty's gonna cut you down. Let me tell you, God Almighty's gonna cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar. Go tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, backslide. Tell him God Almighty's gonna cut him down.
I met him the very first year that we came, and he was talking to me, and he had saw my Tributes radio page online, and he was asking me if I could sing, and I was like, yeah, and he got me to sing for him in the lobby, and he told me I could sing pretty good, and ever since then he's been trying to get me to do a show up there, but it just never worked out. So he's a really special person to me.
Gene and Gail Hodge called me, and Gene said, you know, we need to keep this thing going. And I said, he says, you think we can do it? I said, so it doesn't have all the frills that Jerry had, because, you know, he spent all year getting all these things planned out, and we're just kids. Keep it simple, Shorty. So anyway, so there's no frills tonight or this weekend. It's strictly in honor of Jerry and Lisa, of course, in honor of Elvis.
We'd had 7 good years with this thing, and it was building. You know, the crowds were getting bigger and stuff, and it was becoming a little more well known. And with Jerry being sick, he was going to cancel it. And Danny and Gene decided that they didn't want to let this thing die this way, so they took it upon themselves to bring this around, and hopefully we can keep it going from here.
This year, Danny McCorkley and I, and my wife Gail, and Lana, and all the people that are helping us, we are understanding that as a group that put this together this year, how difficult it is for a group, and how more difficult it had to be just for Lisa and Jerry and his fan club to put it together. So we're understanding how daunting this putting this together is.
Jerry Russell, I'm so sad Jerry's not here this year, because when Jerry, he just has a love of Elvis, that he does anything he can to communicate that. He goes out of his way to do our charity event each year. I'm hoping even if he can't be there this year and participate in it, some way we can continue to do this for his wife, because she'll need our help, she'll need our support. And to me, this is what Elvis fans are all about. You know, that's what Elvis would have wanted, for us to come together and do this for Jerry, because all the years of hard work he's put into it. I've been to some of the events when a handful of people showed up. It didn't discourage Jerry. He just says, you know, it didn't go like I wanted to, but we'll keep trying. It'll be better next time.
If it hadn't been for Jerry and Lisa, we wouldn't be here tonight. So keep them in your prayers. It was good to see Jerry, and we just pray that this will come out.